Good evening and welcome to another edition of Business and Financial Raw Talk. I am LaWanna Bradford and it is amazing to be here with you on this Thanksgiving week. And today I have a special show that I'm doing. It's entitled, What Things Are You Thankful For in Your Business? What things are you thankful for in your business? And um, Barbara Beckley will be joining me in about 10 to 15 minutes. But I wanted to come on to, first of all, recognize Thanksgiving, but also to remind all of us, speaking to myself and to you, we want to be thankful every day. We want to be grateful every day for everything that is around us, that is flowing through our business, from us to others. And for those of you who are joining Business and Financial Raw Talk for the first time, this show is designed to push the envelope when it comes to all things business and finance. It's to elevate our thinking, develop a more of a strategic line of sight when it comes to how we operate in our business and finances, challenging the status quo and looking at how can we break through those barriers so that we can elevate to the best and highest versions of ourselves, because we know that when we talk about having impact and we want to have influence, when you have money to go along with that, you're able to do that much more. You're able to impact so many more lives. In fact, a friend of mine, Dr. Duranche, is currently in Kenya doing some amazing work. And she has a vision of starting technology incubators for the young girls and women in Africa, and starting in Kenya. And one of the things that I know that she is so grateful for is, number one, just for the vision. And then being able to see that vision come to fruition by developing those partnerships and networks and relationships that enable her to travel back and forth from the US to Africa in order to plant those seeds to eventually see that incubator, I should say plural incubators, become a reality. And for me, I am so grateful that my two companies, the Bradford Group and the Bradford Group Consulting, are celebrating 17 and 12 years respectively. And when I think about the Bradford Group, which is on the mortgage side, and that we're celebrating 17 years, all I can do is look up and thank God for the blessing that we were able to survive 2007 and 2008. We were able to survive the pandemic. And even now, with the economic shifts and a lot of uncertainties in this particular industry, we are still pressing forward. And I am so grateful for having the foresight, having the relationships with my partner relationships and my investors, to have those critical conversations to say, okay, what's coming down the pipe? What can I expect? How can I position myself to handle this new normal in my industry? How do I help to better inform and educate my clients who are investors, who are commercial property owners? Because many of them are wondering, well, what do I do? Or is this the right time to buy? Is it not the time to buy? Should I harvest out equity or not? If I harvest it out, what will my rate be? And there's a lot of fear and angst and confusion about this current environment. And what I am so thankful for is having these relationships and being so plugged into my industry that I can position myself now in a consultant and advisory capacity for my current clients and potentially new clients, positioning myself as an expert in this arena and providing guidance. because our aim in the Bradford Group is to ensure that if we are able to provide you with the education, the information, the tools that you need to make the best financial decision for yourself and your business, then we've already created a win-win. The next piece would be to do business with us, because that we ultimately would love to serve those who come knocking at our door. But we know that we're not going to serve 100% of the people who knock at our door. But and I want to say serve from a lending standpoint, but we always give service to everyone who knocks at our door. And so I'm so thankful for having this customer centric mindset. In fact, from the very beginning, 17 years ago, my brother who founded the company, he and I developed what was called a customer reconciliation system. And it was all about customer centricity and understanding the drivers of customer satisfaction in our business and understanding those challenges or pain points that our customers had, and then developing processes to, first of all, address them and then mitigate them secondly. So again, this is 17 years ago. We had developed this format because we realized that many people were having not the best experiences when they were dealing with mortgage brokers. And we wanted to find out why. What was going on? What was causing some people to get very frustrated? What was not being done? What did they want to see? And once we understood what was happening, we said, okay, well, how can we position ourselves differently? And that's where the customer reconciliation system came into play. And it's a proprietary system that we developed that allowed us, again, to understand all the drivers of our business, understand the cycle of business when individuals came to us, and those points of engagement, and then determine how were we going to perform at each point and how we were going to measure our performance along the way, so that at the end of the day, we wanted to have not only a satisfied customer, but a customer who was delighted, a customer who was so delighted that they would tell other people about the Bradford Group, because we know word of mouth is priceless. And so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for that model. I'm thankful that my brother had the foresight that he did. And even though he no longer is with the company, that I'm able to still carry forward the vision and the mission of our company. I'm thankful for the partners that I have, both on the mortgage side of the house and the consulting side of the house. Because with the Bradford Group Consulting, if it were not for those partners, we wouldn't have yielded major contracts with educational institutions, with public health agencies, with transit providers. We just wouldn't have been able to, because it's a little difficult to compete when you're only one person. But when you can leverage the talents and skills and abilities of other people and you bring them together as a team with a strategy on how you're going to land that next contract, that's when brilliance happens. So I'm grateful for every single person in the life of the Bradford Group Consulting who has been there, whether they were guiding us through, whether they were serving on a project team, or they were providing technical assistance, and even from the client standpoint, and just saying yes to us, giving us the opportunity. Because once you have that one door open, that one big door open, now you can leverage that success to open up other doors. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm excited because I've got a partner who I'm thankful and grateful for, who is joining us, and that's the amazing Miss Barbara Beckley with the Diamond Factor. How's it going, Barbara?
Hey, how you doing? Just want to make sure I had my mute button off.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just literally got off a plane.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so the show must go on. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that the plane was on time. I was able to get my rental car, get to where I needed to be, set up the studio, and that you were available also to join me on on this Thanksgiving special. And to those of you who do not know, Barbara Beckley is a 30 plus year insurance veteran. So she's got that seasoned expertise on the financial side, but she's also an entrepreneur. I like to call her a dualpreneur, where she helps to coach and mentor individuals on what it means to live a purpose driven life. She calls it your purpose, your passion, and your drive. And she also has leveraged her social media expertise and integrated this in her business consulting platform to help spotlight individuals, to show them how they can use social media to create more reach, more impact, more influence, and ultimately more income. And she and I are partners on Celebrate You, Women Embracing Wellness, which is a movement now in its fourth year. And it's all about women elevating, celebrating who they are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. And we're so grateful for the 1,300 plus women who are part of the movement, because we believe that each and every one of these individuals and individuals who are outside, if you're able to celebrate all of who you are, then you can be the change you wish to see in the world. In fact, you become the change the world sees, and you impact the lives of your family, the community, the nation, and the world. So that's who the amazing Barbara is and what she's doing with me. And Barbara, what are you thankful for in your business?
Well, first of all, I'm thankful that I am continuously growing and getting the wisdom and the knowledge, not only within inside of me, because I believe in God on that end, but also He brings people in my life, like yourself and others, to show me the way in all aspects, good, bad, or ugly. I always say that. Good, bad, or ugly. And some people are like, why you say the ugly? Because sometimes it is kind of ugly sometimes, where you have to sit back, step back, look in the mirror, have people that you trust come in your life and say, maybe you need to do a little tweak in there, or maybe that might not be working for you, or you're way over here and I thought you're supposed to be there. And I said that last part because the wonderful and amazing Queen LaWanna, and this is Business Raw Talk, has came to me a few times and said, I thought you're supposed to be talking about this. Why you always over there? And I was like, uh-oh. She's right. And you have to have an open mind to say, okay, she's on point. And to the point of, she said that because not only as a business partner and being strategic how she is, but as a friend too. To say, okay, let's look at this. This is you're talking about purpose. That's not your purpose. So yeah, I'm thankful for that, because you have to keep that open mind all the time and forever learning.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that you mentioned that. And sometimes we don't sit and think about that. But like you said, I'm thankful for the opportunities to learn, because when you learn, as you said, each moment becomes different. You become new. You become more expansive. You don't go back to the way you were, because you've just learned and grown from a situation, even if it was quote unquote not as successful as you want it to be, but you still learned from it, right? Even if it was how not to do something.
That's it.
And sometimes we need to be thankful for that, right?
We do.
Thankful that door closed, because we really didn't want to go through it.
And sometimes I'm glad it's shut real quick. Yes. Yeah. We thankful for those learning experiences. That's even better sometimes than other ones. So yeah, definitely. definitely.
And speaking of those doors, I know you and I talked about how sometimes we've been knocking on doors. It's like, why aren't these doors opening? I mean, can't they see all that we bring to the table? And it's like, well, you weren't meant to go through that door. If
Mm.
you're knocking repeatedly, year after year after year after year after year, and the door doesn't open, maybe you're at the wrong house. It doesn't mean you're not supposed to be knocking.
Mm.
You might be at the wrong house. Let's
Mm.
say that again.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
not that you're not supposed to be knocking you or even asking, but you may be at the wrong house. So it's all about alignment and being grateful for those strategic partners, those strategic relationships, right? Because that's where the win-win comes from, Barbara, right?
Yeah, definitely. And going back to the, you said about, knocking on that door, keep knocking. And sometimes that door might not be the door you're supposed to be. Somebody else supposed to be at that door beside you. And what I mean by that is, and I've noticed this sometimes, I can have that perfect solution probably for the person. And then LaWanna have the perfect solution. And they might pick LaWanna over me because maybe they feel more, they cling to her more, or there's something there. There's some type of connection or whatever. But that doesn't mean you didn't have the product or the service. That doesn't mean that they resonated with LaWanna. It can go either way.
Right. And that goes to now let's be thankful for. So I'm thankful for my clients. And I'm even thankful for those who didn't become clients because it even taught me something about that exchange, right?
Mm.
So, like you said,
Mm.
maybe I'm understanding, oh, I thought this type of person was my client. It's like, no, actually, they're not. And I think I gave you an example. This one person was doing a podcast and he was wondering why he wasn't growing beyond a certain level. And he
Mm.
went to this consultant and they said, well, who's your client? And he said, well, realtors. And it was called Wine and Real Estate. That was the name of
Mm.
his podcast. And they went and they looked at his most listened to podcast, and they found out that those that were most listened to were the ones that he wasn't spending a lot of time talking about real estate.
Mm.
And they said, wait a minute, you think your clients are people in real estate or want to be in real estate just because you're in it? That's not who's gravitating to the show. It's wine enthusiasts.
Mm.
So he shifted his show. It's like, oh, wrong target. And sometimes that happens. We develop something. It may be a program, it may be a service, and someone else is attracted to it. But we tend to ignore them because that's not the avatar I painted. That's not who I want. And everyone's like, hello, I'm over here. So the moment he shifted, his numbers skyrocketed.
Wow.
So that goes to, I'm thankful when my clients and those who don't become clients talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you lean in, I'm thankful for being able to lean in and really hear. And sometimes you don't necessarily like what you hear, but it helps you to grow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I like that. That's why I always tell people social listening is the key. It's so important. Listening to your clients, listening to your business partners, listening, period. Because like you said, maybe if he didn't hear that, the shift wouldn't have happened. And then he would have still been trying to figure out, well, what's going on? And maybe he would have got to the point of letting everything go. Would have been a really bad mistake because it just need that little tweak that he did to get back on the target of where he's trying to go.
Exactly. And that's the other thing is I'm thankful for the no's because the no's help me to always stay in my truth.
Wow.
I don't get too lofty or too cocky or too arrogant in my success because I know for every yes, there's a no coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And it's going to challenge me to say, okay, this person said no. Why did they say no? Was it me? Was it the product? Was it the service? Was it the timing? Was it lack of interest? Was it the money? What was it? And again, I'm not trying to win everyone as clients, but I truly am thankful for the no's. And I remember when I was doing Mary Kay years ago, one of the things, and I love the saying that the director said, she said, some will, some won't. So what next? You right? So you can get stuck into, oh my gosh, they said no. And then you're not moving. But be thankful for the no, because with every no, you're getting closer to that yes. It's coming. It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
The more you put yourself out there, the more visibility, the more awareness, the more interactions, the more partnerships, the more people are carrying your water with you, the more client attraction you're going to have.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Yeah, I like that, because if we get so caught up in the, oh no, they said no to me, I don't know why, da, 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 da. And then you get all deep into that, and then you're not moving, you're stagnated, like you said, you stopped, and you can't afford to stop. Learn from that, see what it was, and then move on. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Other thing I'm thankful for in my business is I'm thankful for my mentors, because if it had not been for the mentors, the Bradford Group would not be celebrating 17 years, and the Bradford Group Consulting would not be celebrating 12.
Wow.
I had to have people mentor me in the industry, mentor me in business. I mean, I've been in business, gosh, 30 plus years now, but I still had to. There's always going to be people who've done what you want to do, who are reaching the clients you want to reach, who are making the money you want to make. Doesn't it make sense to say, can you explain how you did it? Can you help me navigate a little bit faster and not keep bumping my head against the wall? Because I don't know about you, Barbara, but I'm not trying to figure it all out by myself.
I usually, when that happens with me, I get really frustrated. I don't get nothing done. It's like, why don't I just ask this person? What am I doing? I mean, it's so easy, and so you get it quicker. Well, one thing that I want to say, you talking about being thankful. One thing I want to say I'm thankful in my business that I was thinking about was my transferable skills that I received. Because as LaWanna said, I've been in the insurance financial world for 30 plus years. Wow. I just thought about that. Woo. And then it was like, golly, almost 40 years. But and then on top of that, decided to say, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I have my own business too. Well, the skills that I learned from, and still learning, because I'm still doing the day job, has transferred over so well in a lot of areas with my own business. So I think, that my day job, for giving me and for letting me work on those skills and work with clients within that company. So now I know how to work well with my clients. So I'm thankful for that.
And what you just said is huge. And there may be many of you out there who are dualpreneurs, or who may be dabbling in the entrepreneur ranks and wondering, if I want to do this full time. And what you said is very impactful, Barbara, that you're thankful for all the skills that you learned, those 30 plus years in of skill sets that have now you can transfer into the business lane. And I'm grateful for that too, because I know how much people invest in a lot of training. And when you're coming from the corporate sector, you're getting some top-notch training. So it's like, how can we use these skills, this knowledge, these experiences to fuel our business? And I always tell people, when you're doing something for yourself, and perhaps it's in your same industry, your business may be new, right? But you in business are not. So it's all about how you communicate that message. Do you come and say, oh, well, I've only been doing this, like, and I'll use mortgages. Oh, I've only been doing mortgages 17 years. Well, that's a long time. But when I say, but I've been doing financial analysis for 30 years, little different weight. I've been doing financial analysis both domestically and internationally.
Mm-hmm.
right? I've
Yeah.
been doing financial analysis for billion-dollar companies. Mortgages is a form of financial analysis. I gotta understand what the numbers are saying in order to
To
get a
work.
loan approved, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm just grateful for knowing how to, I'm going to say how to spin, how to pitch. And we had Dr. Forbes Riley on this show earlier this year, and she was talking about that, the power of the pitch. And
Yeah.
so many small business owners are failing in that area
Mm-hmm.
because they don't become students of their message. You have to be a product of your product. If you can't sell yourself,
Mm.
if you can't convince yourself, do you really think people are going to be lining up saying, "Can I buy your widget?" I mean, you got to be so tapped in as, oh my gosh, Abraham Hicks says, tapped in, tuned in, turned on to whatever it is you're offering or selling or
Yeah.
your product that you sell yourself over and over again. You get excited all over again. Just hearing your own pitch excites you. You want to pitch yourself happy. So I'm thankful for the pitch. And I'm thankful for having people like Dr. Forbes
Mm-hmm.
come on and sometimes even challenge me to say, okay, you've been doing this for a while. Let's tweak it a little bit. Because sometimes, Barbara, we can become so comfortable in saying our, whether you want to call it elevator pitch or mission,
Mm-hmm.
that it sounds like we're reading. It
Yeah.
sounds robotic, right? That the emotions are gone. We've
Yeah.
detached ourselves because it's rote. It's da 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 da.
Robotic. Yeah.
Right. And I remember I was on a call with her, and she's like, after I finished, she goes, "Oh, that's nice. So you were reading it?" I'm like, "No, I wasn't reading it." She said, "Well, it sounded like you were. There was no emotion. It was just na 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 na." And I thought, "Whoa!" And I had to check myself, and so I recorded myself, and she
Mm.
was right. It did sound, and so and sometimes it sounds rushed, because you're so used to saying it. So I tell people, be thankful for the pause.
Mm.
Pauses can be your friend,
Yeah.
right?
Paul is our friend. Yeah. I always say that every time speaking, either you're doing your pitch or introducing yourself or whatever you're doing, pauses are your friend because it makes you stop, let people take it in. And then on your end, like you said, you put those, you're thinking about what you're saying and you're pausing, you're saying, okay, well, let me slow it down, or let me, it gives you that, that few seconds to kind of change some things, the tone of it or whatever. Yeah. Or the motion of it.
Right. And when you're thankful for the pause, then you're in a place of where you're listening, or you're feeling, or you're sensing where that client is. Right. You're not trying to just jump right in. They say something, but it's like, whoa. It's like it doesn't have to be a ping pong match with your customers. Let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Yeah.
Pause. Repeat what they said to make sure you're clearly understanding. Rephrase it, paraphrase it, mirror it. There are so many tools and techniques on how to create that intimate engagement that you want with your customers.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause right now because we're going to show our sponsor, which is the Bradford Group, for 1 second. There's no shame in my game. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Tamara Hunter, and I want to say thank you to LaWanna Bradford. She had me on her show, Business and Financial Real Talk, not long ago. And we talked about how important it is to be able to talk real talk about nonprofits, of which a co-founder and president of a 501c3 nonprofit, and how it is that we can take our life experience into making a difference, helping others, and be able to fund it. Corporate partnerships, a business with a cause, so many other things. I want to say thank you to LaWanna. She knows how to bring out a subject. She knows how to real talk about something that is very important. So thank you very much, LaWanna. And if anybody has missed a show, I hope you do catch it at some point. If you have any questions of me, feel free to look me up. Tamara L. Hunter. Thank you.
Welcome back to Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no holds barred forum for leaders and innovators. I am LaWanna Bradford, here with my business partner, the amazing Miss Barbara Beckley of the Diamond Factor. And we are here talking about what things are you thankful for in your business? We're asking you, what things are you thankful for? Have you thought about it? Have you just sat and just really looked around at this year or past couple years? What are you truly thankful for?
Yeah. Well, there's another thing that I could say I'm thankful for is the technology. Technology could be your friend if you understand and to get the right knowledge of it so it can fit into your business. So I'm thankful for that, because a lot of times, some people well, I don't want to make everything technology. I want some things to be, me talking, which is okay. But that's when you know which things can make technical in your business and some things that you might not want to make technical. And that's okay, because you're making that decision within your business. I decided a while ago that Calendarly is a big friend of mine compared to what I used to do before, which I used to send emails back and forth until I got a date. And that was crazy. That was crazy. And then looking through, trying to see when they sent the email. I said, wait a minute, there has to be an easier way. Calendarly, send them a link. They get on the schedule. They pick a date. You're good. So that's why, some things you kind of tend to say, okay, maybe I need to make this electronic. Technology need to come in.
And I like that. It's looking at, sometimes we have to be thankful for the processes that we have in place, because with a properly designed process, the more efficient your business is operating with increased efficiency, that is less money going out the door, more money staying in, more money that you can spend for other things like targeted marketing, customer acquisition. But when you don't have systems and tools in place, it can become very costly. Doesn't mean you can't do your business, but it can be more costly than it has to be. So sometimes we have to make an investment to free up our time so that we can work on our business and not so much in our business. Yeah. Again, I'm going to say that again, working on our business and not in our business, because I'm thankful that I didn't just create a job for myself. Right? Many people join the entrepreneurial ranks, and all you've done is transferred from a guaranteed biweekly or monthly paycheck to a job. You created a job. Yes. And you want to rise up from an employee mindset and start thinking like a CEO, start thinking like the founder, start thinking like the principal or chief operating officer, whatever your title is of the company. Because I guarantee you, if you study leaders of companies, they think differently than employees. Yeah. And if you, in your professional career, never elevated to those levels, then be with someone who's been in that rank. Again, that's where your mentors and your teachers, or start reading books from well-known CEOs and executives, because there is a formula for success. They do look at business in a very unique way, right? So they're looking broadly, very, very macro level, not so much always micro. And sometimes we can allow that microcosm of where we are get us so caught up that when something happens, what do? squirrel or pivot,
Yeah.
right? Because we can't see the bigger picture. We just see right here and we panic.
Yeah.
But when we can see all the pieces and then you start calling the shots, I like to say it as see yourself as the conductor of your orchestra. You've got all the instruments, right? These instruments could be your processes, your tools, your systems, your resources, your partners, your employees, your 1099 folks, your gig workers, it could be all of that. But as the conductor, you see how all of these pieces fit together to create the melody that you want, which is called your product and or service.
Yeah.
But you've got to not be afraid to stand up on that platform and take your wand and begin conducting.
Yes.
So it's a totally different shift. So I'm grateful for having a strategic mind, being able to look at the world through a strategic lens. I'm grateful for the executive positions that I've held in corporate, in my company.
Yeah.
You know, I'm chief operating officer of the Bradford Group, but I'm principal of the Bradford Group Consulting.
Yeah. And just to add what you were saying about, you know, I like what you used about being the conductor of your business. And what I do to help me not get into that that mind frame of an employee in my business is if I'm doing something, say I'm sending out, okay, go back to sending out the emails. Sending out emails, then sending out a follow-up and all that. And I had to ask myself, okay, you're the CEO of the company, Barbara. Would the CEO be doing that? Would a CEO, and I think about where I work at during the day, because that's a corporation coming, right? The CEO of the company, he's not sending out follow-up emails to people. He doesn't have that time. He's looking at the vision of the company. He needs that time. That's his time supposed to be of going on what's going on. What's the next company they're going to buy out or whatever they're going to do. I mean, he's not sitting there saying, okay, let me send a follow-up to Barbara to make sure she gets in the meeting next week. No. So when I think of it like that, then I have to sit back and say, okay, so now what do you need to do to get this done? And it can't be Barbara. So, yeah.
You know, I love what you just said. I mean, that's so huge. And sometimes small business owners are wondering, why am I not getting the results that I want? Why does it seem like year after year, I'm really not moving the needle? I'm comfortable. I'm able to pay my bills, but my business isn't growing, or my business doesn't have the foundation to scale. Well, first starts here. Because if you're, again, thinking as a worker bee, and there's nothing wrong with it, being a worker bee, but if that's where you're thinking, then that's the results it's going to produce. Worker bee results. But if you elevate your thinking, again, you may be the only person in your company. It's just you. You're everything. But you spend quality time in the strategic zone of your business. So I want to know, of those watching, how many hours a day do you spend in the strategic zone? Are you in the operational zone? Strategic, operational. Strategic is vision. Strategic is foresight. Are you operating? This is the grind, and there's nothing. And you have to, again, if you're the one person shop, you're bouncing back and forth. But at a minimum of the 8, 10, maybe 12 hours you're spending, at least give me 2 hours thinking strategically, thinking about what you're doing, thinking about creative ways to reach your clients, thinking of how you can partner with other businesses or individuals to leverage their reach, to leverage their resources. You got to get out of the operating zone in order to think strategically. You can't do them in both places. Either you're working on something or you're thinking about something. Right? You're visioning. You're in a higher faculty. And I know there's times I have to catch myself because some things I really like doing. I like it. I like the creative side. Like I love doing video production and stuff. I do. But then I have to also bring in the strategic piece when I'm dealing with clients.
Yeah.
So that's where, I'll do the blueprint and the mapping to find out, are we building this in the right way for you?
Yeah.
And again, that's still lower than what a CEO would be doing. A CEO is going to say, okay, we're doing videos. Who's our target audience?
Mm-hmm.
What's that? What do we want that market penetration to be?
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to get that market? How much money are we going to invest in that market? What do we want that return on investment to be? How much time are we going to get before we measure the return on investment? What is our price point?
Mm-hmm.
That's that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's not hard, but you have to be committed to being the CEO, founder, owner, whatever title you are of your company, or you've just created a job for yourself. And that's okay too. But you have to make that decision. And for me, I'm thankful for, again, being able to shift that thought process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said, I'm thankful, again, going back to people that mentor, people that are in your life. I'm thankful again, say it again, to LaWanna, because she has a wonderful, amazing, incredible strategic mind. And I just got like just a little glimpse that I put in my life, and I'm still learning so much. And I'm so glad I got, what she's taught me for that, because it has shown me, just like I said earlier, about looking at my business not as me being an employee and asking those questions. LaWanna, one thing, if you talk to LaWanna, she's always good. If you talk to her in a strategic way, she's going to ask you questions. She's going to keep asking you a question until you hit it somewhere. You're going to be like, well, what do you want me to say? Well, what do you want to say? She's going to put you in that zone, because she's trying to get you to really think and get to that root, or that, that main thing. So you can say, oh, okay, that's what it really is. What's the right questions? That's what you have to always ask yourself, especially when you're in your business.
Yeah, and I want to jump on that and say I'm thankful for the questions. I'm thankful for being inquisitive, right? Because when you're not afraid to ask questions, then that's when the opportunities open. That's when doors open. When you can say, oh, you've got this over here. How can I be a part of that? Or why can't I? Right? It's you're seeking for what you want. But if you're sitting on the sideline of life, or the sideline of your business, and you're just hoping and praying, things are going to happen. People are going to come. They're going to find me. They're going to see my video. It's going to be by chance. Then you're using hope methodology for your business, and hope is not a method. So you want to be thankful for being focused, I don't want to say what you want to be thankful for. I can't do that. Let me rewind that. What I'm thankful for is focus and strategic thought, and having strategic foresight. And for some of you may wonder, what is strategic foresight? And I'm actually certified in strategic foresight. So it's actually a business science. And strategic planning, so I'll give you the difference. Strategic planning is, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, and I'm gonna tell you what bridge will take me there. I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna build a bridge, and I'm gonna figure out all the steps to keep that bridge supported as I journey to my destination. That's strategy in its simplistic, basic forms. I mean, there's a lot more that should go into it before you even get to that piece, but in the most basic of forms, that's what it is. But when all you're doing is that, you're missing understanding your environment, that environmental scan. You're missing all of that. And like we'll hear people say, oh, the SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. If you did a true SWOT, it takes a lot of time. It's very detailed. because you're looking at your competitive analysis, you're looking at your financial analysis, you're looking at processes, systems, customer market focus. It is far more than looking at yourself.
Yeah.
So that's that. On the strategic foresight side, this is the person who asks the questions, because of these things happening, what is the likelihood that this trigger is going to happen? So, for example, as a person who uses strategic foresight, when I look at my business, I'm saying, okay, the pandemic happened. I want to know, how has this now impacted my industry? And because of these industry shifts, I need to understand economically how these shifts are going to land on my customers, land on my ability to do business, land on my ability to interface with my my investors. So I plan after I scan, after I have a foresight. It's almost like you're looking in a crystal ball and predicting what's going to happen because of everything that you see. So it's having a predictive lens versus a expected lens. Right? So I want to go here. I want to go to Disneyland, and I'm going to drive there. That's the bridge. That's how I'm going to get there. But strategic foresight says, well, the pandemic hit, Disney closed, or Disney's open, at
certain amount of
certain times, and it's weighing things on the other end and evaluating the consequences of you possibly going to Disney. So it's very, I'm really, really simplifying it, but it's a very complex model that you take and you learn about. Again, it's called foresight. So because I see all of these indicators, and I'm expecting that this may result in X. Now that I know that this may be the result, now I right?
Yeah.
It's not new. It may be new for those of you who aren't in the corporate side of the house, but it is the way that companies are talking. So that's the other thing I'm grateful for, Barbara's just being tuned in to what the industry is doing, right?
Being very. Well, that's why I was going to say just what you just talking about with the strategic foresight is that's a way, and like you said, I know we're simplifying it, but that's a way to be in tune when you think about it, because you're saying, okay, this is what I want to do. Like you said, Disneyland, drive there. But then you think, okay, how's the budget? You got inflation coming up. The COVID might come back in a different, now you got monkeypox, you got other stuff going on. I mean, you start thinking about now, what do you have to do? What do you have to change? What do you have to look for? And I think that helps you in your business because you're already putting it out there, some of the things that can happen. And it don't have to always be bad things. It could be some good things coming up. Say, you know what? With, a lot of people want to gear towards more personal development growth. And that's what I do in my business. So I need to be ready to scale up. I can't do I'm an employee in my business because I might have 50 people sign up at the same time for what they want from me. So I have to be ready for that. Am I ready?
Right.
Well,
yeah. Barbara, can you believe we are already out of time? So I want to just thank you for joining me for this special Thanksgiving special for Business and Financial Raw Talk. And I encourage all of you, sit back, think about your business. What are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? Write those down, let them, and put them before you. Sometimes we have hard days, but when you see those words that you wrote, it can help fuel you and re-energize you as to why you're doing what you're doing. And for those of you with family or maybe away from family this holiday, we wish you a safe and happy and joyful Thanksgiving Day. And Look forward to seeing you next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on E360 TV, as well as streaming on social media. And remember that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Until next week, be blessed, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Business and Financial Raw Talk, a no-holds-barred forum for leaders and innovators with award-winning business strategist and financial analyst, LaWanna Bradford with the Bradford Group. With Raw Talk, we are empowering women to rise and succeed in business and finances, and improve the world for the next generation. Get ready to get raw and real. Live each Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on E360TV.com.